You're gone for the week, so you get
All set?
You get one cookie, not two.
All right. We have the February 3rd, 2026 meeting of the Conservation Commission, which is being recorded. Please stand and salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Look at all the flannel at this table. All right, so I have a brief discussion. It's a public water supply on Main Road.
Mr. Chairman, Member Weinberg had brought up some concerns for the state has recently reopened the superseding order that has been pending for issuance for the Bisco well property at Main Road. Phil mentioned about us forwarding some information to the state to get them up to speed. So I got a copy of Campbell's draft summary. I don't know if I should have George finalize it with a final document rather than a draft summary, but the state is just looking for comments to move the ball forward. They have given a timeline to, I think, February 17th to get some of this information in. We know where Buzzards Bay stands. They have been pretty outspoken with this, and I don't know, Phil, you have...
Yeah, maybe just by a little way of background, but actually, bottom line, I'm thinking maybe it doesn't make sense for us to do anything now. So what happened was, Mr. Corey filed an application to install observation wells in this area that is, how would you describe, do you know what it is? Okay, so, and so that at this time, the commission denied the order, denied the request, it went to DEP, and then it went on to administrative hearing, and the conclusion of the administrative law judge was that they did have a right to go ahead with the observational wells. And it was a kind of a very detailed opinion, but the Buzzards Bay Coalition was making the case that hydrogeologically it was going to impact Angeline Brook and the wetlands because it was going to draw so much water from it. And the administrative law judge's opinion was, well, that's down the road. They're all just asking to sink the observation wells, and the regulations are pretty clear that you could do that. So forward now is that when they went ahead and did work there, they altered more wetlands than they were supposed to. And so what came out of that was an order, was an NOI that Mr. Corey had filed, laying out what he planned to do to for restoration of the impacted wetland, but also requested to build a pump shed and some pumping equipment. And we approved that, primarily because we were interested in getting the reclamation work done, but also because Chris's opinion was that nothing that they were doing would really affect the wetlands until actually if the wells got approved and they started pumping, and that issue would come back to us again. So before they could operate the wells, they would need to come back to us. So we filed that. Buzzards Bay appealed our denial of
Our approval, right?
of our approval of it, right? Of our approval of it, and that's the case that's in front of DEP right now that they finally picked up, which is to resolve this outstanding. So Corey had filed, maybe both people had filed requests for superseding order of conditions, Buzzards Bay and Corey, and so that's where it stands now. And in the meantime, all this work has been going with DEP on approving the results of the test well results that they conducted. And what we found out later on through the work of our hydrogeologist in Buzzards Bay is that they really screwed up the test. And so we basically forced them to redo the test. And the results of that have recently come back, and DEP has, the water side has approved that. So, and now the DEP Wetlands Program has come to finalize or to make a decision about what to do with the SOC to our order. And so both Buzzards Bay hydrogeologist and our hydrogeologist did an analysis of what the second round of test results, pump test results are, where they pump the wells maximum for 3 days? I can't remember the number of days. Anyway, to see what the maximum load is going to be, and we had required, in addition to the traditional things, we had surface water wells and wells near the brook. And so, and then after that, that's all been going on the water supply side. But I still not sure that we need to submit anything now.
Okay.
Because I think, I mean, we could ask George, I mean, I'm curious enough, it's more like, for me, like, you know, who's going to pay for it, you know, and the timing of it a little bit. But, so Buzzards Bay, after the water division in DEP approved it, then Buzzards Bay wrote a long letter, and their hydrogeologist wrote another long letter of all the things that were wrong with it. And our hydrogeologist wrote a draft letter to us, just to, you know, here's his initial impressions of it, you know. And so one thing we could do is ask him to do a more thorough review of it, because we still don't know if and when there'll be a request for us to actually approve the operation of the wells, because no one's come forward and said, here's what we want to do on the property.
Yes, there really hasn't, only people that know what is to be done is the public water supply.
Yeah.
Because they were given some
Yeah.
application that
Yeah.
said Westport condominiums. That's
Yeah.
the only reference I have to
Yeah.
what type of project.
Right, right. And I guess the footnote, the whole thing is that if you have a really large water supply system, then you're required to do a very specific cold water fisheries impact analysis to get your public water supply permit. But these wells are so much under the limit that they didn't have to do that. And so now it's kind of, from Buzzards Bay perspective, all being viewed through the wetlands regs. And so I guess I don't think there's necessarily an urgency about it.
All right.
Because I think what DEP is focused on, from our point of view, is were we right in granting were we right in saying they could build a pump shed? Have they built it? I think they.
No, nothing's been built,
Nothing's been
no,
done, so.
nothing.
Yeah, so.
That's fine.
And I think all the hydrogeological stuff is like down the road.
Correct. All right.
Yeah. But maybe we'll get an answer where we can force somebody, whoever owns the property, to do the restoration, which we've wanted.
Correct.
Right.
But isn't that part of the superseding order? or
Yeah,
what the-
exactly, yeah,
Yes.
that was part of it. But nothing's happened.
And Buzzards Bay could appeal that decision as well, subsequently.
Yeah, they could request an administrative appeal.
Correct.
Of that, you know, which they might, at which point, then, but I think the first decision went a long way in saying, all the things you're talking about, we would really have to confront when we approve the operation of the wells. Right now, no one has requested us to approve the operation of the wells, which is in our jurisdiction under the wetlands regs.
Right.
And until that happens, then all the hydrogeo will come back. And, you know, maybe we'll require more testing, you know, based on what we hear, you know. So it's really kind of open-ended, but.
All right.
All right.
So,
Thank
Okay.
you, Phil.
Thanks, guys. First hearing, Westport Harbor Water Association notice of intent, 7.
No, you missed
No?
one, septic.
Oh, I'm sorry, septic. 6 Union Ave Realty, 6 Union Ave, install Title V system and grading.
Correct. Such a busy agenda.
Okay, Greg Nicholas, South Coast Engineering, for Chris Simmons. This property at 6 Union Avenue. This is the last remaining building of the Westport Manufacturing Company. When you can see from Route 6, it's a stone building that was basically redone. From what I understand, there was a notice of intent and order of conditions issued for site work around this, and that was to address the drainage and the improvements around the area, parking and whatnot. What was left off of that was the septic system, and the reason for that was because Mr. Simmons had a septic inspection plan that basically said the system was fine, some issue with the tank, just replace the tank and everything would be great. They went to dig up the tank and it turned out that that's all there was no septic system at all. So he was kind of stuck behind a rock and a hard place. He had all this work done with no septic system. So then the challenge came to what's the design flow? Is it a repair? Is it new construction? Working with the Board of Health, said, well, let's do it as if it's new construction with an increase in design flow and see what you can come up with. So what we have here is an existing a new septic tank, denitrification system, pump chamber, the pressure system over here. For this issue of conservation, we have the 100-foot buffer zone, the yellow line, that's also the limit to 100-foot river. In this area of the Westport River, I have no idea if this is the original river or not. I suspect it's probably not. It's all stone line as you go along, similar to what you see at the head of Westport, probably to facilitate the manufacturing way back when. So we have that. We also have a FEMA flood zone X, which is right over here. No elevation attached to that. So what I could do is I can keep the septic system out of the flood zone, but I'm within the 100-foot river. And also 100-foot buffer to BVW. Talking to Chris about this, look to see if there's any other place we could possibly do this. And the idea is you want to stay out of this unless it's an absolute, there's no other alternatives. So perk test was done here, not by me, but by the previous engineering firm, and you had water coming in at 24 inches. This area in here is part of the foundation of the original mill building. You're not going to get a perk there. So you're pretty limited to where you can do anything. It's right over here. It's a concrete driveway, an asphalt driveway, concrete pad back here, and that's what we have. The pump chamber, as I mentioned, is way down over here. Reason for that is that with gravity flow coming down here, and then I got a force main coming up to the soil absorption system. I didn't want to put a sag in the pipe because then you'd have water, effluent sitting in there. Weather like this, you'd have some problems with frozen pipes. So that's pretty much what I have. We are showing the Hayesville line, or the water line coming around here, surrounding all the proposed work to be done, and that's about it.
What's the approximate gallons per day you have a design for?
740, something like that. I want to say this was approved last night at Board of Health. Director approved, and it was voted.
Oh, yeah, probably
This
was.
is director,
Yeah,
not last night.
director approved.
It has been director approval though.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But it just explained, it's a 4-bedroom house.
4-bedroom house plus what we have
Office.
over here, it's a warehouse, and also there's a salon. I want to say that the blend's going to move into here.
Yeah, there's a salon that increased the flow a little bit, right?
So if I can find it, it's over here somewhere, 740 gallons per day.
All right, thank you, Greg. Mr. Chairman, members, this is 6 Union Ave Realty. 6 Union Ave is the address. We have a request for determination of applicability filed by South Coast Engineering with Greg Nicholas here representing. The report date is January 29th, 2026. Again, as we mentioned, this is Board of Health Director approved, contingent on this, our commission's approval. Excuse me. The owner of the property is filed to install a Title V septic system within the buffer zone and outer riverfront area for the property at 6 Union Ave. The old system was determined to be in failure. The new system will service the 4-bedroom home, beauty salon, and commercial office space. The new system will be installed along Union Ave, and it will be 80 feet from the BVW edge, and within that section of the riverfront. The septic system will have a 40 mil barrier to be installed around the leaching area to prevent any breakout. The pump chamber and septic tank to be installed to the rear of the 4-bedroom home, and the pump chamber will be further down behind that commercial building. The system design is as far from the resource areas given the constraints of the existing conditions. Erosion controls will be installed around all work areas and will remain till the area is seeded and stabilized. As Greg has mentioned, the applicant did have an NOI to reestablish this area with a tank and the pump chamber going. It's been seeded, it's now more maintained, so it's much more feasible for them to install these in that particular location than may have been before he bought the property. This was always a concern of mine from the very beginning, and I'm finally happy it's come to be resolved now. So I recommend the board, excuse me, the Westport Conservation Commission should approve the proposed sewage disposal system with a negative box 2 and a negative box 3 determination. That is all.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions, Chris? Any questions on the table?
Sure, I just have one question. So Chris, this property has been ongoing for us for a while. We did site visits on it and various other things, probably over a year or so ago. And at that time, we were basically told that, oh, all this work that's being done, it'll be a storage facility. There will be, you know, garage where equipment will be kept and various other things. So just for the record, that's how it started. And now we're sitting here with a 4-bedroom home of beauty supply and commercial office space. So I'm not entirely sure.
Well, the 4-bedroom home was always
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It was just never, you were absolutely correct, Jake, that I had brought that to the attention of in the very beginning. I said, you need to cumulatively show us what your actually intents are for the property. And for disturbances in the riverfront, we wanted to know what everything was being done. So yes, there was some, and to Greg's comments, the engineer kind of did put the owner in a situation, and he had this place ready to go and leased out, and he finds out that there's a dead-end septic system, so, but
Which I don't have a problem. I mean, I know the location of it. I understand it's, you know, it's on Route 6, it's commercial space anyway. Just, it's a little disappointing that we ended up at this from where we started.
I understand.
But that's, you know, he's going through the process to put in a, you know, denitrification system, Title V compliant system. But again, from being a storage facility for equipment to now a beauty salon and commercial office space is a little different.
understand.
Thank you.
He had a limited horizon when he started.
Limited horizon.
We just get sold a bill of goods every week. So this is consistent, so this is consistent.
All right, any other comments? Okay, no comments or motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the negative box 2 and negative box 3.
Second.
Okay, that was Jason and Phil. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it's unanimous, Sam. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
That's right.
Now we have the Westport Harbor Water Association Notice of Intent, 755 River Road, construct public community water supply main from new well field to existing pump house.
I brought him a cookie book today.
You bring the pistachio ice cream?
That's just an approximate locus of the work area.
You get the ice cream? Pistachio?
No, I had a work call. I couldn't get it.
Disappointed, Jason.
I know.
Is that how long is that how long is the length of it?
Yeah. Well, and then it goes into the neighborhood too, so
Okay.
there's even more, so it comes out, I think it's 3,600 feet,
Really?
yeah.
Before you get started, we just need your abutter notification cards, please. All right, thank you very much. You can start whenever you're ready.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Walter Hermano, professional engineer, Hermano and Hermano Consulting Engineers. Tonight, I'm here before you. Thank you for entertaining us. Westport Harbor Water Association is my client, and I have Caroline Fenn, president of the association here. Also have Mike Poitras, he's a water operator. We also have Bob Facey back here, He's a technical guy for all the equipment that's going in on this new project, hopefully. Currently, they have a well field up on 755 River Road that's been approved by the DEP. They've been trying to develop and made some great progress for a new water supply for their association. And I'll start with existing conditions, and stop me anytime if you got any questions. Got a few sheets here. First couple of sheets are all the existing conditions. We've had a nice survey done on the entire route, which is over 3,600 linear feet. Up here is their existing pump house, 52 Perch Rock Road, right next to Cocky's Pond. Come down Perch Rock Road. There's a paper road right here where there's no utilities yet. And you have River Road. And we have a perennial stream right here to the Cocky's Pond. It's a 3-sheet set, and continuing down River Road. You go past the Spindle Rock Club. And we get to the place that I started with. Right here is their new well field, right on land of 755 River Road. So the total length is 3,600 linear feet. We've done the existing conditions by survey. We've also done a GPR of the entire route, so we can understand the approximate depth of bedrock along the whole route. What we are proposing is a 4-inch water main and a 2-inch service. And the service will be for 2 houses along River Road. It will be installed along their existing network, their distribution network. But when we get down to this area here, this will be new construction, because right now it's a paper street portion of the entire Perch Rock Road. Maycomb is there, Perch Rock Road, but that'll be new construction. And they continue in the same trench, 2 feet of separation. We cross the Herring Run. And sheet number 2, we're coming up River Road. Notice that we have to cross at certain points because the GPR, geophysicists, recommended that we cross in certain areas because other areas we wouldn't be able to get through without great difficulty due to competent bedrock. There is a lot of bedrock to be found along this entire route. Much of it is chippable. Some of it is just not passable without probably bringing in heavy equipment and explosives, which we don't want to do that. So we will track along an existing water line of Pond Meadow, which was also found by the GPR crew, in order to stay at least 3 feet away from their water line. Had a nice walkthrough with representatives from that association, and they gave me their best knowledge of when that went in about 40 years ago. Most of the work is off of the road, off of the paved road. Unfortunately, there are some sections where we have no choice. We were crossing, for example, seeking an easement from this person, and right here we're off the paved road. We're doing our best to stay off the paved road and away from the other water line. There's very few utilities that are underground except for that water line. There's a few poles with electric service that run the backside up to houses, but we're not going to be interfering with that. And here is your existing well field where we come up into the existing 3 pipes. There'll be a shed built in that area. We're going to have valve boxes, we're going to have blow-offs. But this section right here is just a 4-inch, because at this point here is where the 2-inch service ends. That's for the second home. That's part of the 2-inch service, the 2-inch distribution line. So that's the breakdown of the route. You know, in regards to environmental and conservation, there was several resources that were identified. We had our wetland scientists go out there in early January and identify wetland resources that are subject to the Act. that are within the jurisdiction. For the most part, we are not in wetland resources other than there's a borderland subject to flooding, which takes up just about the entire project, except for some high area above 17 feet, which is on Perch Rock Road. So all borderland subject to flooding. Resources in the area identified by the wetland scientists was salt marshes, land under salt pond banks, or land under ocean ponds, streams, rivers, lakes. And we also have a Diorama's fish run, for example. That's a herring run. Estimated habitats of rare wildlife for coastal wetlands. Land subject to coastal storm flowage, bank, BVW, riverfront area. So performance standards for the wetland resources identified pertain to the border and land subject to flooding. The entire project does not call for any filling of any of the floodplain. We're going to be excavating for trenches, putting in the utilities, putting in the water lines, that is, and then backfilling. So we're not changing the elevation, we're not consuming any floodplain. We have also riverfront area. Riverfront pertains to the herring run. And that area is 200 feet on either side of the herring run, located by these red lines right here. So to overcome the performance standards for working in the riverfront, there's developed riverfront and there's also undeveloped riverfront. We are allowed to ask for, and you're within the jurisdiction to approve up to 5,000 square feet of riverfront area to be disturbed. We're only asking for 1,326 feet, which is also less than the 10%. It's either 5,000 or 10%. We're asking for 1,326. And it is basically land that is outside of the paved surface and on the shoulder, but it's not in any of the protected resources. There are no alternatives proposed other than what you see. We've gone the best route possible that stays within the layout of the roadway and does not infringe upon the wetlands, the wetland resources. So we go over the performance standards. I believe we've met them or exceeded them for the border and land subject to flooding and the riverfront area. So in summary, we have conducted our regulatory analysis. We believe I identified all the protected resources. We have gone through this plan with your agent. Thank you very much, Chris. And he's given me his comments. That's appreciated. We've also received them from the Division of Fisheries, and they have pointed out basically what Chris has said, but we have a Diagram's Fish Passage, which is the herring run right here, and they're recommending, they say that we should have no in-water or silt-producing activities between March 15th and June 30th. Okay. That will be possible. We don't want to take a chance and jeopardize if we got a 4-inch deluge where it would overcome our siltation controls, and then we'd have a siltation event inside the perennial stream, and that would be terrible. But we would like to work at least 100 feet on either side of this, given that the entire length is 3,600 feet long. We can do to and from. But we can either get to this quick enough before that magic date, or we can do it right following when the period opens. But we'd like to work within 100 feet of that stream in order to get this project going, because they need a water supply. They've been working with DEP, it's been DEP approved. There's still some treatment and developments going on in the shed there. I should point out, I almost forgot, they're providing some treatment of their water. There's going to be a backwash, minor backwash of iron and manganese, I believe. Behind their pump house, we have a dry well that we will have to discharge the backwash, and it occurs about every 3 days, maybe runs for about 20 minutes, any of the gentlemen, the water operators can verify this better than I can. But there's a dry well proposed right there that is more than adequate to handle that. And we have the siltation, erosion control around that area for the construction of that portion also. I think I've covered everything up to this point. Anybody have any questions?
No, we'll let Chris read his report, and then we'll see if we have any questions afterward. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter. Mr. Chairman, members, Westport Harbor Water Association, the location is River Road as well as the Perch Rock Road neighborhood. This is a notice of intent application. The engineer record is Walter Hermano Engineering. Report date is January 29th, 2026. There is a file number for this project. It's SE 802826. Again, the applicants here still need to go before the Board of Selectmen for this approval, as the activity is within the town's right-of-way. Site visit was also on January 29th, 2026. Description of the work: the applicant has filed for a 3,600-foot water line placement within the portion of River Road from house number 755 South to 813 River Road, and then it will turn up a paper road section, as Walter mentioned, into the Perch Rock Road neighborhood. Work also includes installing fencing and gravel parking area around the main public wells location, as well as that shed over those wells. The applicant has utilized ground penetrating radar to document ledge and other existing utilities within the proposed work area. The trench will require crossing from one side to the other to avoid ledge and other obstacles, as he mentioned. The Pond Meadow water line is actually one of those obstacles. The work will require excavating a trench within the roadway and or edge of road and installing the 4-inch water pipe and a 2-inch water service pipe, which again terminates in that neighborhoods as well as the Perch Rock neighborhood. The work will require crossing over the existing Herring Run culvert pipe. The trench will then enter into a paper street across 830 River Road. The water main will extend up to the existing water tank and pump house along Cocky's Pond, again within that Perch Rock neighborhood. The work falls within the buffer zone and riverfront zones, bordering land subject to flooding. Activity requires, again, approval of the Board of Selectmen. The work doesn't apply to any exemption under the Wetlands Protection Act, as it is proposed by a private entity. Again, if this was a municipality doing the work, there are some exemptions under that limited project criteria. Erosion controls on this project shall be installed along the entire work area to prevent any erosion and siltation. Applicant is responsible to pave all disturbed areas per the Select Board and the Highway Department. I really didn't go into detail, but the crossing of the culvert pipe, they're going above the pipe, so there is no concern for the culvert being jeopardized or influenced by them doing it in this manner. They feel they have proper cover for that pipe. In some areas, they are also going to be enhancing from freezing. They're going to be adding a product to protect that pipe from freezing at shallow areas. They also will be installing a trace wire so that they can find this at a later date, as well as allows them to monitor some things along that pipe system as well. So given we recently received some Highway Department comments, I'm not going to read all those, but they pertain to how they proceed with the road cuts, the amount of asphalt, and the type of repairs that are required for their considerations. Walter has been given a copy of that. So recommendations for the commission: the Westport Conservation Commission should approve the proposed water main and water service in River Road, the gravel lot and the perimeter fencing with the well shed, with the following conditions: the Select Board and Highway Department approvals through a public hearing process. Erosion controls to be installed on both sides of the access roadway during all phases of construction. Pre-construction meeting with Concom agent, Highway Department, and work in the herring ditch must adhere to the time of year restrictions for migratory fish species. That's actually May 15th, I believe, to May 31st. Groundwater discharge, if it is needed, must be pumped through a series of hay bale check dams before discharging. Any changes to the plan, which is a standard condition, may require an amended order of conditions with the commission and/or consultation to determine what is needed. And lastly, the highway department comments should also be as a condition. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Can you clarify the time of year? Because I think you said May 15th to May 31st. Is it March 15th?
March 15th, I mean, yes, March 15th is the beginning.
If I may, to June 30th.
To June 30th, okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Jim, any questions?
I just have a general question. So how many households or properties is this gonna serve, this water line?
There's approximately 25, but that can be verified by the president. I'm sorry?
50.
Oh, 50.
Yeah,
50.
50 households.
Okay.
That's why I got
And
them
we're required
backing me up tonight.
to, I mean, our production is limited by whatever DEP tells us our
Yeah.
capacity is going to be, but we have applied for the existing capacity, which is 50 households.
Okay. And 50 households are currently using
Yeah,
that right now?
yeah, roughly. I mean,
Yeah.
we may have to add 2 because we needed to get easements.
To get, yeah.
Yes, that's how they,
Trying to-
yes.
to really limit
So
that,
Miss-
'cause we're at our peak.
Yeah. So there's no further expansion onto the Coxet Road and
No,
further down
we
there?
cannot expand. We
Okay.
are not taking.
Any other customers?
We are not taking any new customers.
Not like Route 6 in Westport, but yes, okay.
We just, we can't. We just, I mean, it's our capacities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Do you have any questions of us? No?
I do
Good,
not.
all
I
right.
would just comment on the fortitude of the proponents of this. It has taken many years to get this far and a lot of ups and downs, and I'm glad to see that, you know, you're on the downhill slope, it seems. This is not at all, this is just a curiosity question, which is that, I mean, I know we don't have a town engineer, and I'm just wondering, are there people in the highway department who are actually looking at the engineering aspects of what you're doing, or is it much more just the roadway part of it?
Correct. Yeah.
I think it's mostly roadway.
Yeah.
They have a detailed 4-page review that they issued today, and they have some very good comments on trench details and pavement thickness.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be reviewing that to make sure we comply.
Okay.
And I believe you tried to find any guideline, any existing guidelines.
Yeah, I have
To guide
searched.
your proposal.
We always try ahead of time to make sure we're conforming with all the standards that are applicable. But we can't be perfect sometimes, and maybe I missed it, but I haven't seen them yet. But I'm sure they'll point them out to me.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? If not, a motion, please?
Thank you.
Second.
Who made the motion?
With all
I
the
did.
conditions
Oh.
set out in, I'm sorry.
Jake made the motion, Phil seconded it with Chris's comments. And all in favor? Opposed? All right, that's unanimous, Sam.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Good luck.
We're scheduled for 7:45, Mr.
Yeah,
Chair.
I was gonna make that comment.
With council. Thank you, Walter.
All right, we'll get these minutes done quick now.
No, yeah, I don't know.
You got 5 minutes.
Straight through.
What's that?
Got a couple things we can talk about.
Oh, where is it? Yeah. All right, continuance, so they continue for, how long are they, 4 weeks for them, 2 weeks? Oh, Chris, how long are we continuing DCR for?
March 17th.
All right, we have continuance March. Mass DCR notice of intent, John Reed Road, proposed widening of beach access road with coastal beach, Barry Beach. That's gonna be continued to March 17th, so I need a motion to continue to March 17th.
Motion continued to March 17th.
Second from Phil, Jason and Phil.
If you could acknowledge the receipt of the letter from the fire department with a revised comments for that access way.
Yeah.
I want you to all, I did send them to you, but I'm gonna be forwarding that to DCR tomorrow morning, now that we formally have brought it before the commission.
I'm very happy with their review.
They commented today that they're working with or trying to get some answers from MIPA, and they requested a continuance for this meeting.
That was
so-
Mass DCR, right?
Yes, they did contact me today, so I will just forward this letter letting them know that this is some new comments that they came back with, and they can deal with those issues as they come.
All right, so we have, I'm going to have, Scott.
Sorry, Chairman. If it's such an important emergency access road, I would think even at this given time, when there's very little to do at DCR, they would be plowing that access road right now. If there was some sort of emergency on the shoreline, it's impossible to get to right now, so.
Didn't they have one during the storm?
That was down at Cherry Web.
No, was it?
That was it, yeah. But again, if it's that important and that paramount to, as an emergency access road, they should be clearing that even in the wintertime.
All right, so we have a motion, and a second, and we also just want to make note of the Westport Fire Department's letter regarding the access road. So all in favor? Opposed? All right, so that's continued to the 17th. So, 17.
17.
All right, so let's just get through some bills and stuff. East Bay Media, 129 for advertising for hearings.
Motion to pay.
Second.
Jason, Jake, all in favor? Opposed? All right, that's unanimous. Chris Capone mileage, 312.81.
Motion to pay.
Second.
Jason, Jake, all in favor? Opposed? All right, that's unanimous. Minutes, 120, present. Let's see, myself, Kevin, Phil, Burton, Jason, and Chris. If there are no changes, I'm looking for a motion to accept the minutes from January 20th.
So moved. Second.
It was Phil and Kevin, all in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? No, all right. We have executive session with the same people here. Looking for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Opposed? All
Jake
right.
and Phil.
Jake and Phil, sorry. We have stamps, $500. Your motion to pay.
Motion to pay.
Second.
Jason, Jake, all in favor? Opposed? All right, it's unanimous, Al. That was us, $500 for stamps. Jake and Jason. Let's go back to October 28th.
Here we go.
There it is.
It was opened, Paul Jonkis was present, Jake, Tom Merchant, and Phil Weinberg. So if there are no changes from 10:25, looking for a motion to accept the minutes from October 25th of 2020, October 28th of 2025.
Motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? October 28th, 2025.
That ain't my cookie now.
That was a motion from Tom, second from Jake. Unanimous. All right, minutes from January 6th, 26. Let's see, present, Jake McGuigan, Phil Weinberg, Kevin Carter, and Tom Merchant. So I was not there, neither was Jason.
Motion to accept the minutes.
Second. Oh, Kevin.
Second from Kevin. All in favor? Tom.
Tom.
All in favor? Opposed? All right, that's unanimous. Jake, you gotta sign that. Executive session from 1:13. Jake, Phil, Burton, Tom, and Kevin, and Jason. It looks like I was the only one who was not
You
here.
were not here. Yep. Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? All right, Jake, there's another one for you, buddy. Who made the motion in second?
Jason. Kevin, I think.
All right, Kevin. Sure. 11:25:25. Jake, Phil, Burton, and Jason.
Motion to approve.
Second.
That was Jake and Jason. All in favor? Opposed? All right, Jason, sign that. All right. So at this time, we're going to go into executive session. And Valerie, when we come out of executive session, we're not going to agree into the regular meeting, so you can, you can shut everything off. So So we'll take a roll call for to enter executive session. I, Paul Jonkis.
Explain why you're just going into executive session for discussion of litigation.
Oh, discussion, yeah, okay, discussion of litigation on a superseding order. Sorry about that. I, Paul Jonkis.
Aye, Jason Powell.
All right, Jake McWigan.
Hi, Philip Weinberg.
I, Kevin Carter. I, Tom Rushing.
All right, that's good. So you could shut everything off for me, Val.